Ever wished you could feel ready to use your English for bigger opportunities, but you're not sure where to begin? In today's video, I'll walk you through 2 foundational steps to help you build your confidence in high-pressure speaking situations like job interviews, presentations, or even just speaking up at work. By the end of this video, you'll feel ready to take the next step in preparing for those situations without feeling overwhelmed. Hi, I'm Sarah from Free Your English, and I help professionals like you use their English confidently in high-pressure situations like job interviews. Let's get into it. Step number 1, you need to work on being comfortable being seen. Step number 2, you need to work on being calm when searching for the right words. Yes, I know. There are a bajillion other things that you need to do to prepare for job interviews in English, but these are really the foundations, so don't skip them. First, let's talk about how to build confidence in being seen. The truth is, confidence doesn't arrive magically overnight. It comes from practice. The more you put yourself in situations where you are visible, where you are in the professional spotlight, so to speak, the more comfortable you'll become, even if you are an introvert like me. Being comfortable being seen is a muscle that you can grow over time. Just like when you are starting a new fitness routine, start small, build up gradually. Here's what I recommend. Start with small, daily actions that progressively increase your comfort level. You don't have to jump straight into interview practice. Start by speaking aloud to yourself for a few minutes a day, then try speaking in front of a mirror. Next, record yourself, listen to your recording and notice what went well and where you can improve. Then get feedback and gradually raise the speaking stakes. As you get more comfortable, take it a step further each time. Share your recordings with a trusted friend or post them in a supportive Facebook group. Eventually, you can even go live in a Facebook group or start doing things like speaking up more at work. All these small actions add up. Over time, you'll be building your ability to be seen and heard with confidence, whether that's in a meeting, a presentation, or a job interview. This might sound intimidating, but just remember, these small actions are what help you build your speaking confidence without overwhelming yourself. Think of it like lifting weights. Each small, repeated step helps make you stronger. And just like with general health advice, like do strength training to build muscle or drink water throughout the day and so on, these ideas that I'm sharing, they aren't revolutionary ideas, but are you actually following through? Tell me in the comments section, what small action are you going to commit to today that will help you improve your comfort level with being seen speaking English. If you need help and support, you might want to check out my 7-day free trial to Go Global. Go Global is a membership that helps you progressively become more comfortable speaking in English so that you can really shine in those high pressure situations. Now let's talk about something many people struggle with during interviews in English and indeed any professional speaking situation. That is staying calm when you can't find the right words. It happens to all of us. It's completely normal to freeze and get stuck in the middle of a conversation. It's a human thing to do. But here's the thing, resist the temptation to avoid that moment, to make it mean something terrible about yourself or to minimize it. You need to own it. There's a North American expression. We don't use that phrase much in the UK because we prefer to save face rather than own it. To own it means to take responsibility for your actions, decisions, and their consequences. It means to be accountable and authentic. It's usually the best course of action because no matter what happens, the person listening understands you are being authentic and brave. Okay, tip number 1. Remember, it's normal to get stuck sometimes. Remember that, it's normal to need a moment to gather your thoughts. We all do it at times, even in high pressure situations like interviews. It happens to the best of us. Instead of feeling panicked, embrace it. Recognize that being stuck is a natural part of communication, and it does not mean that you're failing or not capable. The more speaking practice that you do, the more you know that this is true and that you can get through these tough moments. Okay, tip number 2, power of pauses. One of the most powerful tools that you can use in these situations is the pause. Allow there to be a pause. Allow there to be silence. You have about 5 seconds before you really need to say something, and that's quite a bit of speaking time. If you maintain confident body language, you can still be seen as intentional and confident. Pausing to think is not awkward. Actually, it shows that you're taking the time to craft a thoughtful response. You are an empowered speaker. Owning the pause that you need to take because you cannot think of the words gives the impression of thoughtful deliberation and confidence. If you just try to pretend that you're not stuck and you just push through and you say anything, then you can find yourself starting to waffle, as in speak in a vague way, and that in itself can cause you to panic more and more. And that just prolongs the misery. If you allow a pause, your interviewer might jump in and actually rephrase the question. So allow yourself a few seconds to think and to remember the responses that you have practiced. You can also buy time. Buying time means to give yourself a bit of time rather than responding immediately by using phrases that indicate that you are going to do that. Here are some phrases for buying time. These are really helpful when you need a moment to think, but they should be used sparingly. Ideally, you'll need to buy time just once per interview to maintain credibility. Okay, here they are. That's a great question. Let me take a second to think it through. I need a moment to gather my thoughts on that. I'm so glad you asked. That's something that has been very important to me in my career. Okay, maybe it's the question itself that's causing you issues. If so, don't be afraid to clarify. You don't want to overuse clarification, but it's better to clarify and show you are an active listener who seeks to avoid misunderstandings than to push ahead and answer in a way that shows that you did not understand the question. If you're not sure what the question is asking, you can say something like, just to confirm, are you asking about, and then rephrase the question. Or, so what you're really wondering is, and then again, paraphrase or rephrase your understanding of the question. This is actually a really good communication skill. Even in our private lives, this act of clarifying can greatly help clear up misunderstandings in conversations and avoid them. The more you practice these strategies in your everyday work-life conversations, such as in meetings and so on, the more natural they'll feel during interviews. And strangely, the more confident you are in using these phrases, the less you will need them, as just knowing you have a way to buy time can in itself help you feel more calm and confident. So we've talked about how to handle those moments when you need a bit of time to think and how to clarify a question. But what about when you just don't know the answer? If you are asked a technical question you do not know the answer to, then no amount of stalling or clarifying will help. And you're left there, exposed, wishing the ground would swallow you up, time freezes and you don't know what to do. What do you do when you don't know the answer? Again, you own it. You are honest. It is a tough situation, but it does not have to spell disaster. With the right approach, you can still leave a strong and positive impression. It needs to be said, though, that you need to prepare for this by thinking ahead about potential gaps in your knowledge and anticipating questions that might trip you up. Here's how to respond with professionalism and composure when you do not know the answer. Let's break it down step by step. You need to, first of all, buy time to calm yourself. Then you admit you don't know. Then you highlight something related that you do know, and you address how you would manage your current skill gap in the workplace, and then you mention how you are proactively learning. For example, that's a great question. Let me take a moment to think about that. I haven't worked with Django before. However, I've worked extensively with Flask, which also uses Python and follows similar web development principles. If I were faced with building a feature in Django, such as you mentioned, I'd start by applying the logic I know from Flask to tackle the problem. Of course, I would consult documentation and forums and absolutely reach out to team members who are more experienced with the framework just to make sure that I'm absolutely on the right track. I've already enrolled in an in-depth Django course with Open University, and I'm confident that with my background in web development, I will be able to get up to speed and be able to contribute effectively to the team in no time. Okay, getting comfortable in those high pressure moments, whether it's building the confidence to speak under the spotlight or staying calm when searching for words, all of this requires consistent practice. Small, daily steps lead to big improvements over time. You need focused preparation for interviews, and that's exactly what you'll get with Go Global. My 7-day free trial gives you live, high-level practice, opportunities to be seen, and a chance to apply everything we've discussed today. Click the link in the description below, and you might also like to check out this video on how to practice speaking English on your own to continue boosting your confidence. Let's keep you moving forward. Thank you for watching. Take care.